Claude Code can now see your screen, open your apps, click your buttons, and take screenshots, all from the same terminal session where it writes your code. This is computer use, and it changes everything about how you work with Claude. Anthropic just shipped computer use for Claude Code as a research preview. Until now, Claude Code was powerful but blind. It could write code, run commands, and manage files. But anything involving a GUI meant you had to leave the terminal, open the app yourself, click around manually, and come back to tell Claude what you saw. That entire back and forth loop is gone now. Computer use eliminates it completely. Claude can now open applications, navigate interfaces, type into fields, scroll through content, resize windows, and take screenshots of whatever is on your screen. It's like giving Claude a pair of eyes and a mouse. The official announcement called it the ability to do anything you'd do sitting at your desk. And Latent Space described it as the biggest Anthropic launch of all time. Setting it up takes about 30 seconds. In any Claude Code session, type /mcp to open the MCP server menu. You'll see a built-in server called Computer Use listed as disabled. Select it and choose Enable. That setting persists per project, so you only do it once. The first time Claude actually tries to use your screen, macOS will ask you to grant two permissions: accessibility, which lets Claude click, type, and scroll, and screen recording, which lets Claude see what's on your display. Grant both, and you might need to restart Claude Code after enabling screen recording. After that, just ask Claude to do something that needs a GUI, and it handles the rest. Here's what makes this design clever. Claude doesn't jump straight to screen control, it follows a priority chain. First, if you have an MCP server for the service, Claude uses that and it's the most precise. Second, if the task is a shell command, Claude uses bash. Third, if it's browser work and you have Claude in Chrome, it uses that. Computer use is the last resort, reserved for things nothing else can reach. Native applications, simulators, design tools, and proprietary software with no API. This means Claude picks the fastest, most reliable tool for each task automatically. Screen control is powerful but slow, so Claude only uses it when it's genuinely the only option. Here's where it gets real. Say you're building a macOS menu bar app in Swift. Before computer use, you'd write the code with Claude, compile it yourself, launch it, click through every control manually, then come back and describe what you saw. Now you just say, build the menu bar stats target, launch it, open the preferences window, and verify the interval slider updates the label. Screenshot the preferences window when you're done. Claude runs Xcode build, launches your app, interacts with the UI, clicks through tabs, and screenshots the result. All in one conversation. You never leave the terminal. It found a bug. Claude already sees it. It patches the code and revalidates in the same session. Visual bugs are the worst to debug over text. You describe a clipping issue. Claude guesses at the CSS. You go back and forth. With computer use, you just say, the settings modal clips its footer on narrow windows, find it, and fix it. Claude resizes the window until it reproduces the bug, takes a screenshot of the broken state, reads your style sheets, patches the CSS, rebuilds, and re-verifies. It sees exactly what you see. No more describing pixel offsets over chat. And it works for iOS Simulator too. Tell Claude to open the simulator, launch your app, and tap through the onboarding flow. Claude drives it like you would with a mouse. No XCTest setup, no playwright config, just natural language instructions. Now, giving an AI control over your screen sounds risky, and Anthropic clearly thought hard about the safety model. First, enabling the computer use server doesn't give Claude access to everything. Every time Claude needs a new app in a session, it asks you first. A prompt appears showing which apps it wants, any extra permissions like clipboard access, and how many other apps will be hidden while Claude works. You approve per session. Second, apps with broad reach get extra warnings. If Claude wants to open terminal, it warns you that's equivalent to shell access. Finder warns about file system access. System settings warns about changing system configuration. These aren't blocked. The warnings just make sure you know what you're approving. Claude doesn't get the same level of control over every app. There are 3 tiers. Browsers and trading platforms are view-only. Claude can see them but can't click or type. This prevents Claude from accidentally submitting trades or filling in web forms you didn't approve. Terminals and IDEs are click-only. Claude can navigate but with restricted input. And everything else gets full control. Click, type, scroll, the works. There's also a machine-wide lock. Only one Claude session can control your screen at a time. And press escape anywhere to immediately abort and get your screen back. The escape key press is consumed by the system, so no on-screen content can trick Claude into dismissing a dialog. Let's talk about what you need and what you can't do yet. Computer use requires macOS, no Windows or Linux support yet. You need Claude Code v2.1.85 or later, and a Pro or Max subscription. It's not available on Team or Enterprise plans. You must be authenticated through Claude.ai directly. Third-party providers like Bedrock, Vertex, or Foundry don't support it, and it only works in interactive sessions. The -p non-interactive flag won't work. On the feature gap side, the CLI doesn't have a denied apps list yet. That's desktop only, and there's no toggle for the auto-unhide behavior. When Claude finishes, your apps are always restored automatically. These are early days. It's a research preview, and Anthropic is clearly iterating fast. Think about what this means for the development workflow. Before today, Claude Code could write any code you asked for, but verifying visual output always required you. Testing a native app meant you clicking through it. Debugging a layout bug meant you describing pixels. Automating a GUI tool meant building a separate automation script. Computer use collapses all of that into the conversation. Claude writes the code, builds it, launches it, tests it visually, and fixes what it finds, in one unbroken loop. No context switches, no copy-pasting error descriptions. Claude sees the same screen you see. For native app development, UI testing, and working with tools that have no API, this is a fundamental shift. And it's built on the MCP architecture, which means it's extensible. As Anthropic refines this, expect tighter integrations, Windows support, and probably enterprise access. This is the beginning of Claude being a full-pair programmer, not just for code, but for everything on your screen. That's Claude Code computer use. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to Prism Labs for more AI developer content. See you in the next one.